It's time now for Real Estate Update. With Usha Chandra of Globenet Realty, real estate is our world.
Now we're standing here face to face, afraid to move or else.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very important segment. Once again, the Real Estate Update with Usha Chandra of Globenet Realty. And it's a very busy time in real estate, and so to talk all about that, let's welcome to the studios to Usha Chandra. Welcome to the studios and to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Mesh, in Australian Indian Radio.
Well, it's always wonderful to have you back on the show here today. Well, let's get straight into the show today. As we know, it's been very busy in real estate. So, what is the market of overview at this point in time?
Let's have a quick look at the second busiest week for auctions across the combined capital cities so far this year. It's amazing results. The combined capital cities have seen 3,033 homes taken to auction last week, and the second busiest auction week so far this year. The previous week showed 2,940 homes taken to auction, while last year similar time 1,427 properties were taken to auction across the combined capital cities. So amazing results, looking at 3,033 homes taken to auction last week.
Well, that's almost double the amount from last year. So wow,
Yes.
that is quite a lot of activity happening in the area. Well, as we know that always we gauge the market with the number of auctions that take place. Could you just take us through city by city, maybe the percentage wise and the total numbers of auctions in those cities?
Yes, absolutely. Let's have a quick look at the clearance rate. Sydney market. Sydney was 80.8%, and compared to last year was 70% compared to last year. Melbourne was 80%, and last year was 63.5%. Brisbane was 80%. Wow, look at the results of Brisbane this year. 80.2% compared to last year was only 50.8%. Adelaide was 90%. Amazing results there, and compared 66% last year. Perth was 42.9%, it's gone up. Last year was only 26.7%. Tasmania was not applicable at all. And then let's have a quick look at Canberra. Canberra was 87.2%, and compared to last year's was 76.6%. So the average was 81% this year compared to 66%. Let's have a quick look at the total auctions in Sydney in apartments, and the Sydney market was 973 properties were taken to auction, compared to last year's was 700 auctions. Melbourne was 1,474 taken this year, compared to last year was 490. Brisbane was 228 this year, last year was 66 only. And then look at Adelaide, 207 compared to last year was only 60. Perth was 23 this year, last year was 15. Tasmania was 2 and 2. Canberra was 126 this year, and last year was 94. So the total auctions, as we discussed before, was 3,033 compared to last year was 1,427.
So once again, as I mentioned, about the 50% mark there, and it is remarkable to see those kind of results. And as you have mentioned before, Brisbane did stand out there, getting up to that mark, because Brisbane normally was not a very high auction rate area. So if you look at those auction stats, let's take at the clearance rate throughout the capital cities.
Yes, let's have a quick look at Sydney market. Total auction was 973, and the total cleared sales under the HEMA was 692, and Melbourne was 1,474, and 1,005 were sold under the HEMA. Brisbane was 228, and 130 sold under the HEMA. Adelaide was 207 and 124 sold under the hammer. Perth was 23 and 6 were sold under the hammer as well. Tasmania was 2 and 0 sold under the hammer. There was no sale under the hammer there. Canberra was 126 total auctions and 95 sold under the hammer. So looking at the total, 3,033 total cleared auctions under the hammer was 2,052. So amazing results. I mean, as we know that a lot of people don't buy under the hammer, so they do negotiate the sales after the auction has finished because they have got conditions like subject to finance or building inspection, whatever the reason is. The ones that are not sold under the hammer, they sell fairly quickly after the auctions.
So, that's the key of the auction, is you could have a sale before, at, or after the auction. So wonderful. Okay. So looking at all those kind of activities that are taking place, and it's quite amazing to see that auction clearance rate, for the number of auctions that took place, and to then the very small number of uncleared auctions. So that's a great indication of the market. But in terms of the market, in terms of activities, in terms of the real estate agents, the count normally goes on the number of listings, what's available for sale. So what is happening in that scenario?
Excellent results in the listings as well. Let's have a look at the last 4-week count. Brisbane was 4,614 new listings, and year to date was 13,664. Sydney was 8,800 new listings and 20,516. Canberra was 709 new listings and 1,600 total. Melbourne was amazing results there. New listings were 11,081, 28,949 year to date. Let's have a quick look at Darwin. 219 new listings, year to date 3,939. Perth was 4,213. Total number of listings year to date is 14,639. Hobart was 271. 939 was their total listing. Adelaide was 1,933, so 5,045 was their new listings. So looking at the national results of all the major cities, 31,840 new properties came on the market. It's amazing result there. So our total number of listings year to date is 86,010.
So there is enough of the pie, as they mentioned, in the real estate, in the offices, within the offices, within the area, within the region. That's what they talk about, the share of the pie. So there's enough to go around. There's quite a lot of listings, and as you mentioned before, 31,840 new listings coming on. That is amazing. That is good, very good results there. Well, right now, moving on, let's take a very good look at, as we have mentioned, we've looked at listings, we've looked at the auctions, we know. But of course, we know, as we have mentioned before, that there is always that mom and dads out in the suburbs who would not go to auctions. They would always sell by private treaty. So what's happening in that scenario?
Yes, number of sales in Sydney was 1,782 private number of sales. Median price was 1,029,000. Melbourne was 2,250 number of sales, and 755 is their median price. Brisbane was 977, and look at Brisbane's price, amazingly high. It was 575,000 in the last report, and it's gone up 600,000, so it's gone up by 25,000 within a week actually. Adelaide is 653 houses, number of sales happened, 517 is their median price. Perth is not applicable at all. Hobart 152 properties sold under the sales, and 735 is their median price. Darwin is 68 properties, 615 is their median price. Canberra 48, 814 is their median price. Looking at capital cities, combined capital city results, number of houses in sales was 5,932, and median price is 784,122. Let's have a quick look at the units and apartments, number of sales and median prices. Sydney was 1,188 and median price is 695,000. Melbourne was 1,051 apartments sold, 580 is their median price. Brisbane was 313, 420. Brisbane has gone up by 5,000 in apartments as well, whereas 25,000 in houses and 5,000 in apartments. Adelaide is 199 and 345 is their median price. Perth, as we discussed, there's nothing to report there. Hobart is 37 and 505 is their median price. Darwin is 41 apartments and units sold, 415 is their price. It's pretty steady, their price. They're holding their price fairly well over there. Canberra was 100, total number of 100 apartments sold, and 550 is their median price there. So looking at combined capital cities, 2,929 apartments and units sold, and 589,000 is their median price. Looking at the housing price, houses is 784 and apartments is 589,000.
And once again, as you have mentioned about Brisbane, so Brisbane, if you look at the even the house prices and of course the unit prices as well, so it's already on the way up. So that's an indication of what's going to be happening on the market. So overall, so we've looked at the auctions, we've looked at the number of listings, we've looked at how many sold by private treaty. So looking at overall all of that, so let's take a look at how long does it take for a property to sell, how long is the time on the market, and are the vendors having to discount their prices?
Yes, looking at the major capital cities at the moment, last week it took a little bit shorter time to sell, especially in houses. Sydney 24 days, minus 2% is 2.3% is the vendor discount. Melbourne was 27 days, minus 2.2% is the vendor discount. Brisbane is 28 days, minus 2.4%. Adelaide was 29 days, minus 3.1%. Perth was not applicable. Hobart was 21 days, not applicable. There is no vendor discounting there. Darwin is 51 days. Darwin is taking a longer to sell all the houses and the apartments as well. Minus 2.6% is the vendor discount. Canberra is taking 36 days, but there is no vendor discount there. Looking at apartments and units, medium days on the market in Sydney has been 30 days, minus 2.2% is the discount. 53 days in Melbourne, minus 2% is the vendor discount. 39 days in Brisbane, minus 2.7 discount. Adelaide is 32 days and there's minus 3.8% discount. Perth was not applicable. Hobart is 18 days, not applicable. There's no discount in apartments or houses in Hobart. Darwin is 36 days, not applicable at all. So no discount in apartments. Canberra is 35 days, minus 1.7% in vendor discounting, whereas compared to houses, there's no discount in Canberra.
Well, looking at Canberra, that is quite interesting to see how it is always slightly different from all of the other ones. So, okay, overall, looking at all of the things, so what have you seen happening in the market?
Yes, the market is quite high at the moment. There's very limited number of listings coming in our area, but the sales are still happening. There's quite a few properties going to auction these days. A lot of vendors want the best result for their properties. So a lot of agents in our area where we could hardly see any auctions happening in the area, but a lot more auctions are happening and they're selling under the hem actually. So sales-wise, it's happening. Listing wise is still down a bit. There is a lot of large amount of buyers, but not enough stock at the moment. Rentals, we have got one property only. Last week we rented out one, and this week we have got another one. So very slow in rentals as well. There's lots of tenants looking for prospective tenants looking for rentals, lot of inquiries, but there's not much in supply. Open houses, we have got 3 open houses. 2 of them are auction open houses. Dimbula Street in Brisbane Downs, it's open 10 to 10:30 on Saturday. It's going to auction next week on the 6th of November. Whereas the 92 Roscommon Road is going for auction as well. It's open 11 to 11:30, and auction is next Saturday, the following Saturday on the 6th as well. And then we have got Aberdeen Parade. We have got multiple offers, but we're still doing the open houses on Saturday at 12 o'clock. So we've got 3 open houses on Saturday. And looking at the market condition is quite good. As long as we get the supply there, we'll sell it with no problems at all. The auction properties, the owners want to take to sell under the hammer. Otherwise, we have got multiple offers on both the properties.
So that is quite good to see that the offers are happening, and there is very low vacancy rate in the rental scenes as well. So one of the other areas we'll quickly touch off before we finish off today's segment is when we look at the prices that the vendors are getting, and of course the prices that the purchasers are willing to pay. The other part of the equation is finance. Are they getting the finance, and are properties settling on time, or how's that process going? The offers made, accepted, and whatever. Getting the finance, getting it across the line, getting it to settlements. What's happening in that area?
Amazing results, actually. The buyers are very educated nowadays. They are coming, they're qualified for their finance, they've got pre-approval, they do their homework very efficiently, and then they have got pre-approved. So they know that there's a lot of competition in the marketplace at the moment, and if they are not ready with their finance, the vendors are not giving more than 14 days for finance if they are buying by private treaty. So they are qualified, they are pre-qualified for finance, and so there's no issues. I know the banks are taking longer, but qualified buyers who want to buy and who want to be in that competition, they are qualified with their finance as well. So the finance is not an issue at the moment. The banks are a little bit harder on finance, whereas if the interest rate is 2.9% or 2% or whatever, they are just working out on the finance. If the interest rate goes up, say 5%, they are working their calculations on that 5%. So they are very strict with the finance, and a lot of buyers have got no issues at the moment.
So that is good to see. So that means the buyer behavior in this market is quite different to when you really have to sell, and you really need to hold their hand through the process many times. So the conveyancing clerks would be very busy at this point in time, and the companies that facilitate this settlement, they would be pretty busy too.
Absolutely. They're all very busy, and they're taking a little bit time, especially with the solicitors. We have to make a couple of calls to make sure that things are on track and settlement will happen on the date.
So once again, Usha Chandra, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing that. I thought it is always good to every week touch on some of these little tweaks that happen in the industry for the knowledge of all our viewers and listeners, because the stats are wonderful to go by, but we'll always touch on some different topics every week that would make it very interesting. Once again, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing that wonderful information with our viewers and listeners.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Globenet Realty. Globenet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Usha Chandra, Director of Globenet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. Globenet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. Globenet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is their world. Don't forget that every Wednesday we have this report coming at 10 a.m. I hope you have enjoyed today's show. Until next show, it is goodbye from us.